Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to say something. I've done hundreds and hundreds of videos since I started this page in the beginning of the pandemic. But I feel like this one very well may be the most important. That's going to take from a lot of different things that I've talked about, but I truly believe that the four things that we're going to hit on today are the most important as it relates to your personal health and the healthiness of your relationships that you have with people. This statement really rings true. If you're not saying it, you're storing it. Here's the deal. The brain and the body are one. They cannot be disconnected from each other. So what happens here starts to happen in the body. So the more emotional stress, the more emotional repression that we undergo, it manifests itself into our body, creating dis-ease, which thus is a precursor to disease. So fill in all the diseases, those chronically ill diseases. And through research, it's been found that there's a link between those who tend to be chronically ill and those who tend to repress their emotions, because it starts to get into the tissue. If you read The Body Keeps the Score, it really lays this out very clearly. But here's the four things that we have to hit on. People who tend to put other people's emotional needs above themselves is number one. Again, tending to look at other people as they are more important than you, no matter who it may be. Whether it be a partner, whether it be a friend, whether it be a coworker, whether it be a spouse, a parent, whatever. No one's needs, emotional needs, are more important than yours. Because if you're not okay, nobody else is okay. The moment you get that clear and it clicks for you is the moment your life changes forever. Number two, repressing healthy anger. You know, there's a difference between just being angry just to be angry. There's a big difference between just being angry and letting it out. As a child or a young adult, that's how I started getting into fitness, because that was my way of expressing my anger for certain things that were going on in my life, was to go in and take it out on the weights. They couldn't talk back to me, and they couldn't do anything. It beats the hell out of going and beating somebody up. So being able to actually healthfully express your anger is super important to expressing your emotional needs. Number three, identifying with duty roles, meaning you're the hero. You're the person that always goes to somebody else to be the hero, the lifesaver, the knight in shining armor. I raise my hand because this is a big one for me that I have made a mistake on over and over and over. And I'm not even going to call it a mistake. I don't make mistakes because I make lessons, things for me to learn from in life. There are no mistakes, there are no failures. It's just the energy in which you choose the perspective to look at. And the last one is the belief that you are incomprehensible, responsible for other people's emotions. You are not. What I say to somebody else, I am not responsible for their emotions back to me. Yes, do we want to be kind? Do we want to be diplomatic at times? Of course. Do we want to hurt anyone? No. But when you express a boundary to somebody and their response is negative, that's not on you. That's on them. But the more you suppress, you create resentment. That resentment manifests itself into a situation where the body becomes at disease. So if you got to ask yourself, if I'm constantly sick all the time and I'm in a chronically ill state, how much ease do I have in my life? How much emotions have I suppressed? Now, with all compassion, I understand people have experienced a lot of traumatic events. and in some cases aren't even aware that they're traumatic. They just kind of hang out there in no man's land, and we put a box on top of them to keep them away. But the more you express yourself, the more you're able to tackle some of these things and create a boundary in your life that you can now exist, instead of resenting certain experiences that you may have had and then thinking that they could have been different. They can't, because what happened happened and couldn't happen any other way, because it didn't. I am offering you this, a phone call, for you to get all these things out, whatever you're willing to talk about, and how it's manifested in your life and prevented you from going to the places that you want to go. To really be able to see that the perspective that you have is all slighted as if you've done something wrong. You haven't. It's just your perspective. And maybe I could give you a different perspective change. So I'm offering you a phone call. Anybody that's listening to this video that would love to have a coaching call with me. 30 minutes is all we need, and all we need is one question. What is the biggest challenge that you're facing right now? I'm willing to get on that phone call with you. Or you can come in my office if you're local. Whatever the case may be. Would love to hear from you. You can DM me. You can send me a message. Whatever the case may be. I just want to see if something I can do to help you.